challenge quest time. Let's go. I opted to not bring the Von Burst this time because we didn't need it. Headphone warning, everybody. I don't know what it is about Sid's EX, but it just breaks down the whole sound system. Everything crackles. Don't know why that is, but you'll see everything else comes in fine. Never had that problem before until Sid popped his EX. It's just, I think the axe swinging was just too badass. It overloaded the system. I don't know what it is, but there we go. Now, I didn't really have much of a strategy going into this. I just kind of thought it was cool that I had the original Synergy gang for when this event first dropped, so I figured I'd bring them all. And it became clear to me very quickly that the best course of action would be to just do everything you can to get Machina's turn in front of the enemies for as long as possible. Because he'll just keep hitting them, keep hitting them, keep hitting them. So that's what Rem and Sid are basically here to do, is just set Machina up to knock them down. Because we have Rem who can swap his turn back in the front of the order, and then we have Sid who can just delay all the enemies on the field. So it's kind of the perfect setup for Machina. No wonder they all debuted together. But yeah, the Machina LD really does a lot for him. More than I think most LDs have done for characters who've gotten so far. That might be debatable, but it's like a whole different character. And I'm glad they gave Sid some splash damage, as you can see with skill 2. I mean, it's nothing game-breaking, but it's a little bit that helps him out. Sid is not one of those characters that's really, like, all-out amazing or anything like that. I mean, he's not... He can definitely be used, but he's kind of like... I hate to say this because he's like one of my favorites, but he's kind of a jack-of-all-trades, master of none kind of deal. Like, he does damage, he's got some dispels, he's got some wind and peril, and he's got some delays. It's the way the Tanberry card worded it is he does a lot of things, but he doesn't. But a lot of his roles are filled better by other people, and that is true. But I don't care. It's Sid. He's awesome. He's one of my absolute favorites. I'm a very firm believer that throughout the entire Final Fantasy franchise, I don't think that airship pilots have gotten the respect that they have deserved from the rest of the team. I really think so. And Sid is a good example of that. At least in early FF7, but eventually, I mean, he did kind of become the leader of the gang when Cloud and Tifa were out of commission. Unexpectedly, because leading up to then, Sid was kind of just like a joke character. Like, he was just the foul-mouthed chain smoker who didn't really seem to have much relevance to the story at all. I mean, he kind of had his own little backstory with his, as this game calls it, his space dreams and his issues with his wife and all that stuff. But eventually, they actually did give him like a good character development story arc that ended up influencing a lot of the other people on the team. Like, he ends up giving this awesome speech, like, right before they're about to go take on Sephiroth. Like, Sid's the man. Yeah, big fan of him. And his voice lines in this game are hilarious. Like, I don't remember exactly what they are, but I'm surprised that they actually kept some of the curse words in there. I mean, they did have "you stupid" and then asterisks, you know, meant to be swear words and stuff, like all the symbols. But, and then they had something, he said something about pissing yourself. Like, that's one of the voice lines. He said something about that. And then he's like, what the hell, I'm in. That's one of his voice lines. I'm a fan, I like it. That's it, he's just a straight shooter, right to the point. Yes, definitely open up with this LD. So for those who don't know how his LD works, you see he just did that, and that debuff on the right of all the enemies. That's 4 turns. I don't remember the name of it, but you need that debuff active for him to do these follow-up attacks whenever he does anything. So, you know, he goes in with Furious Blades, he does this. Without that debuff, he won't do that. So the first thing you should do with him is LD. Like, some characters you can wait and do it later, like Vaughn, I usually do it later on. But with somebody like Machina, you LD right away. And the whole Machina game plan is to not lose that debuff and get him in front of the enemies as much as possible, because it only lasts for 4 turns. So You don't want your enemies taking a lot of turns with Machina on the team. You want to build a team where he can just kind of keep going and keep going so that they don't wear this debuff out too quickly. And it would be a good idea to use it before, excuse me, it would be a good idea to use the LD before the debuff itself wears off, because say if they have 1 turn left on the debuff, Machina can use the LD, it will refresh the debuff back to 4, and he will do the follow-up attack after the LD as opposed to just doing the LD attack if you were to let the debuff go away. Might as well just keep the damage coming, right? Makes sense to me. But you'll see throughout this run, like, they don't get that many turns given this team setup. Like, you'd think that they'd be able to attack us more because, you know, Ami's not here, like, we're not deleting stuff. Eldnarch is nowhere in sight, we're not eliminating their turns. We're just manipulating them. I mean, not right now, Sid's getting smacked up, but you know what I'm saying. You could very easily just swap right into this. Get a break in. Yeah, all that glowing brave, like, that's nothing to worry about. Because he hits, and then he just... he didn't quite break it, but still, look how much went away. Like, if my Machina had better artifacts, that would be broken. Easily. But yeah, I've mentioned this before, and if you're a member of the Dystopia group chat, you know this all too well, but I've spent a lot of time trashing Machina as a character, and my opinion has completely changed. He's really, really good now, and really fun to play. So yeah, he was not planned when I originally chased him. I was going for Rem, and Rem took a while to show up. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because I think he's great. So I think I did that because we're about to summon, pretty sure. And I also realized Sid has no bloom on right now. Oh wait, maybe he does. No, he does. He does. What am I saying? Yeah, Sid's got the bloom. There's 9s. Dad, look how high his max brave is. That's pretty sweet. With Sid, you definitely want, I mean, this is kind of true for everybody, but for a character like him especially, you definitely want some sort of battery on the team because he does not have a whole lot of hits on his attacks. Like his skill 2, I mean, you'll see it. Not that many brave hits, but because he already had a lot of brave, he was able to nearly hit the cap. Now, skill 1, if there's multiple targets, it does a ton of brave hits. If there's one target, don't bring Sid if there's one target. It just doesn't make any sense. Don't do it. So now we spend a good chunk of the fight, because their turns are way back there. From what I remember, it's a long time before they get to even go again. We kind of just bully them for a while. Turn count by the end of this was 60, which isn't bad given this setup. And yeah, with Sid, definitely, if you want to get your delays off, definitely target whichever one is in the back of the turn order first, because that's who he'll hit first, so he'll break that one, then break the other one, and then delay them both. With 3 targets, it might be a little different. I'm not entirely sure how they'd want to do that, but with 2, it's pretty easy to manipulate. So I've spent enough time talking about Sid and Machina because they're kind of the 2 who got new stuff. Rem is the same Rem that we've always had, aside from character boards, which I did give Rem character boards. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really noticing much of a difference at all. I didn't really pay attention. I didn't even look at what Rem's character boards do for her. I just gave them to her because I think that Rem is one of the most underrated supports ever. I think that Rem is really good. That's why I chased her so hard. She's a lot of fun. I've done plenty of TCCs with Rem. In fact, when I first started doing them, it was like, this is before they even had like the streams and stuff, when it was just the normal TCC challenge. I did basically all of them with Rem, Lael, and Edge. They kind of they destroyed all the TCCs, and it was awesome. Okay, I can't say that because Edge was banned a lot. Whenever Edge was allowed, I used him. If not, I would just kind of go for any third slot that maybe had a little bit of battery, some DPS, maybe some tanking. But that was my catchphrase for a while, was Rem, Lael never fails, and they didn't for a long time. With these extremes, that's going to be a different situation, but, you know, power creep's a thing. Are the delays ready? No, but they will be next time. And with Sid, like, I don't really need to be going this crazy with the skills, because one good thing about him, his EX charges really fast. It's not twist as fast, but it's close. Like, he'll do one skill and then 1 HP attack and it's up. But I opted to just spam skills because we're wearing him down quick enough. He's not going to be spent by the end of this. So I could afford to just keep the damage coming with skills. So that's what I decided to do, and it worked out. Now they are cutting our DPS, as you can see. That used to be 9s, now it's 7s, which is unfortunate. But it adds up. Yeah, see? Just, again, get Machina in front and just let him do his thing. It's wonderful stuff. And that Furious Blades, when it's the plus version, doesn't add to the turn count. That's why I'm using that a lot, because it's just free damage. Why not use it? Like, if that Furious Blades added to it, I wouldn't even be touching those. I would just be using his skills. But luckily they're free, so we can treat it as such. See, that was unintentional right there. I wanted to break them both back, because then I think Sid could possibly delay them. But I screwed up the break order. That is one thing about Machina, is if you play that way, where you try to break certain ones at certain times, sometimes it's hard to time, because Machina's going to just hit everybody. So if the amount of braids they have stacked up is in any way uneven, that might get kind of screwed up if it's his turn. But you can play around. And it is nice. Look at all that brave cashback he gets whenever he attacks. Like, it's almost impossible to break this dude, because of how much he just builds back. Remember, I believe there were a few lucky misses in here. And by lucky, I don't mean... Okay, this is a mistake right here I make. Yeah, I wanted to shave him down a little bit, but what I should have done is probably knock off those buffs that they have going on. I don't even know what they are, but I didn't really think about this until after the fact. Like, in the moment, I'm like, let's just shave the Brave down. But if that's a defense buff, at least dispelling one of them would have helped with some of the Brave Shaper. I think I'm being overly critical. It doesn't matter. I mean, either way, it worked out. But that's how you get better. If you do ever record yourself playing and you go back and watch stuff, you learn things from past mistakes and stuff, which I like. But yeah, they haven't, like, you see their life just dropping? Big fan of it. And we're gonna keep that up. Why not? He's capping so easily. It's wonderful. Yeah, and we can just keep this going. This is crazy. Yeah, this fight's basically over. We just kind of mowed them down. See, that's a lucky miss. I mean, that would have been some damage, but they wouldn't have killed me. Wasn't gonna happen. It's not that much damage at all. Nothing to worry about. And this is the killing blow right here, I believe, that we do for free. Because Blades is plus, we might as well keep it at a solid 60 turns. Done. So there you go, the challenge quest, no Vaughn, no burst, none of that. No need. Getting the old Synergy crew back together to kick some ass. What's done is done. That's 8 out of 8 challenge quests. I'm on a roll. Hopefully I can keep this going. Alright, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you all for watching.